Welcome to Group Dates and Hot Takes, a Bachelor Nation podcast. I'm Sampy.
I'm Christy, and we're recapping Clayton's season of The Bachelor.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Clayton's Dumpster Fire, season 26 of The Bachelor.
This episode was less of a fire, I
Christy,
would say.
I disagree with you.
Oh, okay. Well.
Well, okay. I will walk that back a little bit. I believe personally that this episode is the proverbial pouring of gasoline onto some embers. It's not the dumpster fire quite yet, but it is about to be, and it set the stage for what is to come. That is my opinion.
Yes, there was some very clear foreshadowing, especially with all the love stuff.
So, before we jump into this pending disaster, what's going on out there in Bachelor Nation?
Well, I don't know if you guys remember a few weeks ago, maybe, I mentioned that there was somebody on Reddit who was talking about, like, these allegations that, like, rumors swirling around from back when he was in college. Well,
This is Minnesota Joe from Michelle's season.
Yeah, and so somebody else just yesterday, I think, on Reddit, like, posted a first-hand account of her dealings with Joe, and it was horrifying. So,
boy,
just pretty terrible to read.
But he seemed so nice.
Yeah, and then, like, people in his comments on Instagram were, like, talking about it, and he was, like, deleting comments and deflecting, saying, like, oh, are you going to believe some anonymous person on Reddit? And so that just doesn't look good for him.
What so great.
Yeah, just not such a quality, like, just crop of people they get for these shows.
Yeah, that is a shame. Particularly, he, to our eyes, anyways, he didn't seem like the worst person in the world. So it's always a bit of a bummer.
He just seemed like really, like, nice, introverted, like, whatever, quiet. But yeah, if all these things that are posted are true, then that is just straight up despicable behavior.
Why can't people just not be buttholes? That's what I always wonder. And yet they just continue in their ways. And it annoys the crap out of me.
And then one other small thing, you probably don't remember this contestant, but there was a girl named Daria who got eliminated on the first night of Clayton's season. And she revealed on this article she wrote that she spent $4,000 like on dresses and makeup and hair and everything beforehand.
Ugh.
Only to get sent home on night one.
Well, when you come onto The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, you are making an investment in yourself, in your future, in your Instagram sponsorships, and sometimes it
doesn't pay off.
Though I don't know, maybe it did pay off for her. Has she been doing okay with Instagram?
I'm gonna go ahead and say no.
Well, she got an interview.
Yeah, but, like, I can do a quick search on Instagram to see if I even find her. But if you go home on night one, let's see, 6,000 followers. It looks like she has.
Yeah,
that's not enough.
Don't think she made that money back. Oh boy.
No.
So, yikes.
That's unfortunate.
Wow. Well, let's get into this, Christy. This is the week of the hometowns. Everyone is always super excited for hometowns.
Yep, we start in Virginia. I don't remember what city, but it's Susie.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Still don't remember what she does, but...
She's, like, done a bunch of different things, I think, but I think wedding videographer is, like, her Chiron.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's right. She's the wedding videographer. I forgot about that. Which, talk about a good investment. Everyone wants to book her now. She's been on the Bachelor.
Yeah, apparently she's also trained in Jujitsu.
Mm-hmm, black belt, which...
Yep. She also lived in Japan, I guess, at one point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if I should bring this up, but it just reminded me of the fact that, and this isn't going to be very good for evergreen content, but I heard that, like, in the past few days, Putin was actually disqualified from, he was stripped of his Taekwondo black belt. So again, nothing, very off topic, nothing to do with The Bachelor, but I was watching the show and hearing them talk about the black belt, and I was like, oh yeah, wow. Not even the same discipline, but funny nonetheless. Anyway, we of course, I don't know, these physical dates always make me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
This isn't as bad as like the weird yoga ones and like the professional cuddling and things like that. But it's still a little awkward, particularly when like they make it pretty sexual.
Oh, with her question, does Clayton like being choked?
Yeah, she was like, does Clayton like being choked? And then she's like, yes, he does, or whatever.
The Bachelor loves those like double entendre type things.
Lord have mercy.
But yeah, Susie, I would say, schooled Clayton pretty hard. Because Clayton obviously doesn't have the technique. So even though there's like a huge size difference, she knows the moves to pin him down.
I'm sure he also wasn't trying very hard.
Yeah.
Because I've heard that no matter how skilled you are in something like this, if someone's just like way bigger than you, chances are you are getting destroyed. Which is why, and this is a little PSA for everyone out there, the advice by professionals is always do whatever you can so that you can run away. That's always from a personal safety standpoint, that's always the number one thing, is just run away. Get out of there.
Yeah.
But of course, this was a very friendly, playful situation, so, you know, it didn't matter, but yeah. They did look like they had fun, even with the shrimping. I don't know if you remember that. Which, of course, they got a huge kick out of because of the whole...
You know, just when we had started to forget about Shanae, we have to have a shrimp reference.
Why? I don't want this in my life.
But it was short-lived, thankfully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they get to go have some real heart-to-hearts here.
Yeah, I guess we see this repeated each hometown, but we have to mention, like, who they'll be meeting and what the family members are going to be like. She also talked about being worried that her dad might not be able to walk her down the aisle. So.
Well, because he currently has cancer, right? That was the whole thing. I'm pretty sure that's...
I don't know I don't know what he got. Remember that she had this story back on her one-on-one, like dad got really sick last summer or whatever, and they thought they were going to lose him, but they never said what the sickness was. We were like speculating it might have been COVID or something, but
I could have sworn some point mentioned cancer, but I guess.
I mean, it could be. I just don't remember.
Because I feel like if it was COVID, they wouldn't have allowed. Because at one point she was like, I wouldn't. Like at one point I wouldn't leave his side as he was in the hospital. So I don't think that it would have been that. So whatever it is, does it really matter? I don't know. But he had an illness and it was serious, and it really impacted her, and she really wants him to be there when Clayton walks her down the aisle.
Yes. We'll have to see if that happens or not.
I mean, doesn't it seem like most likely?
That he'll pick Susie?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Christy already knows, everyone. Just FYI.
I don't, though. This season hasn't been, like, completely spoiled yet, so I don't know how the finale shakes out.
Huh, okay. Well.
So I don't know, actually. But I would not be surprised. He seems to like Susie a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, she did have. This was a decent number of people she had. It was, what, 4?
Yeah, mom, dad,
5 maybe?
Sister, and
I guess
friend.
4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dad's still kicking for now.
Yep, she says her dad is the golden standard, and so she wants Clayton to live up to that.
Yeah, I also just... I don't know. It's always... The dancing around of things during hometowns is always funny to me. Of like, oh man, I have such strong feelings for her. And then the family member's like, but there are 3 other people, so what makes her different? Oh, trust me. We had an instant connection. Oh, when she brought that pillow, shocked me on the hand, blah blah, did this, that. It was just, it was instantaneous. And we have such a strong connection, and nothing could break that strong connection. It's just every time.
Well, the Bachelor has to think of something to set the girl apart from the other girls.
I know, but it never really happens.
No, it's very like generic, and like all the family members also know about the other women, so there's like this weird, like delicate, awkward dance. But also, they're all aware they're making a TV show, so that also just adds another weird element to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And of course, everyone's always warned, oh, just make sure. I don't want you to get your heart broken.
Yeah, that's usually the mom in these scenarios.
Yeah.
I did laugh, like, when the mom asked Clayton, do you love Susie? And Clayton just kind of, like, goes on this rambling, like, oh, I got really strong feelings for her. I think I'm going to get there. I'm trying to make sense of things with 4 women around. So basically, no, is the answer.
I just... I couldn't do it, Christy. I couldn't do it.
You mean be one of the family members or be the Bachelor?
Be the Bachelor. That's just...
hometowns are hard for the Bachelor.
It's all too much.
Her mom does tell her to proceed with caution, which is good advice.
Mm-hmm. Anything else worth mentioning?
No. I mean, the The family seemed nice. No crazy family members. It just seemed to go pretty well. So
No Aunt Linda.
Lindsay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Boy, that was an
So many
iconic.
seasons ago. All I remember is the absolute hatred.
I know that was pretty epic.
So we moved.
She wasn't wrong either.
Well. So here's my problem with that. She wasn't wrong about that specific person, but her anger did seem very generalized towards the
Men.
entire section of men in the world.
Yes. No, she was definitely in the wrong.
But was she right about him? Yes, absolutely. But, Christy, we can't talk about that right now, all right? We are in the middle / end of a gripping and emotional season 26 here. And we've just flown into Denver, Colorado to see Gabby.
Yeah, we learned she was a Broncos cheerleader for 5 years, which I didn't know that. I don't know if they mentioned that earlier or not, but
That would not be my chosen profession.
yeah, no.
Not flexible enough. Also not a woman. But I'm sorry. Every freaking time with the jumping into the arms.
I heard that they are like told to do that.
Oh, I'm sure. It's just like, how generic can you get?
Yeah, it's pretty standard. Also, like, did you catch this little moment of like her saying, "I can't wait for you to meet my family later," and then like this weird like laugh that came after it?
Look, Christy, this is a very tumultuous time for these people. All right, they're basically trying to cram an entire couple years of relationship into like 3 weeks, as they're also simultaneously competing with other people who are trying to do that same thing.
Yeah.
It is gonna be very awkward at times. In fact, most of the times.
It was just like this like unnatural little thing that happened that it stood out to me. But anyway,
That was a great observation, by the way.
so they go hiking. So they got all kinds of gear and they head up to a spot called Proposal Rock. I don't know if this is a real thing or not, or if the Bachelor just made this up. But
yeah, and surprise, surprise. Ooh, let's make out on the rock, on the mountaintop.
of course.
And then, even more predictably, oh wow, what's this random hot tub doing on top of this mountain?
And they just happen to have swimsuits on underneath their hiking gear.
Well,
I mean, who could have seen this coming?
we don't want them to film nude, that's for sure. So
No.
I count my very few blessings when I watch this show. And that is one of them.
So we learn they'll be meeting her aunt and uncle, her aunt and uncle's daughter, and her grandfather.
Right. And I guess maybe I was getting the cancer from this because so it was kind of a weird situation. So I guess so her parents are separated and her dad is currently dating someone who has cancer, and so he wasn't allowed to come, or he chose not to come to protect her, because presumably she's like doing chemo or whatever, and so her immune system, and we're in the middle of the pandemic and all of this stuff, so gotta keep the vulnerable safe, so he is not there.
Yes. So once they like walk in, meet the family. Clayton brings his enormous bouquet of flowers in a gift bag that he brought to all four.
Gross.
They I had forgotten about Gabby's entrance with the whole sit on your face pillow thing. But they had to recount that. And I thought it was hilarious that her grandfather was laughing at it. It was totally unfazed.
I mean, grandparents get around, as they say.
Honestly, her grandfather was the star of this hometown. He was very entertaining.
I mean, he was a better time than her dad. That's for sure.
Yeah, her grandfather says she's always been a lovable dingbit.
Wasn't it dingbat?
I don't know.
I think it was dingbat. Dingbat is typically, it's just sort of ditzy. It's just a weird way to say it, but yeah. Yeah, and then of course, don't be in a hurry. It's sir, this whole show is about being in a hurry. This is the Bachelor after all.
It is also good advice though, but
yeah, I mean, great advice. Worst possible situation to give it.
Mm-hmm.
Very few situations where that would be less effective than this situation.
Yeah, she also chats with her aunt and uncle and says she's been cautious with her words and feelings, which is also smart. Hasn't said I love you yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which needs to happen. This is hometowns. You don't make it any further if you don't say I love you. Or at the very least,
no.
I'm falling strongly, heavily, imminently in love with you.
Which, once again, I might have brought this up before in earlier seasons, but I don't know how the lead can put any stock whatsoever into hearing that when he knows they have to say it if they want to stay. I feel like it would just lose all meaning.
Hey, Christy, I don't have the answers that you seek. I don't have them. But they seem excited for her. I just want to talk about the dad section.
Mm-hmm.
Because can I just say, and I don't say lightly, I don't say this lightly, but this is one of the most dumb things I've seen on this show.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people I think were really moved by this. I just kind of I mean, I half and half. Yes, moved by it, but the other half is just it was very corny. The whole, are you referring to the signs he was holding up?
Yeah, so essentially, so right, they set up the whole thing. His girlfriend has cancer. He can't come because he's trying to keep her safe. Great. But he shows up, and they're 15 feet away from each other, outside, and he's holding up these poster boards with big Sharpie writing, he's in the nosebleeds at a baseball game, trying to get a player to see his sign. It's what are you doing? You're literally 10 to 15 feet away from her. She's just standing there blubbering. She's not saying anything. You're protecting your girlfriend from COVID. You don't have to, he literally just stood there and flipped the things. It's
I know.
You could just say, hey, baby, I'm so proud of you. Great job with Clayton. Miriam, bye-bye.
I know. I don't know why he didn't just talk. Somebody mentioned online, oh, maybe, the producers couldn't get near him because then they'd have to like mic him or whatever. So just like hold a boom mic out towards him or something. I don't know. Like, it was very odd. Like, she just kind of, she didn't get to say anything to him. Like, they could have at least like done a phone call. I don't know. It was odd. And then like Clayton like eventually just kind of lurking in the background while this is all happening.
Yeah, so I guess speaking about that whole technology thing, like, there wasn't a whole lot going on in that area. Like you said, they literally could have just smacked a shotgun mic on a boom, put a dead cat on it, and hung it out over him, and it still would have been better audio quality than the whole Brandon, like, Michelle poem thing. Like, it would have been way better than that. But so I don't understand. I mean, I guess I understand from the perspective that, like, this would be just so much more romantic and like, you know, so just heartwarming that, like, oh, he came all the way here and he's protecting, so he's just standing there with his signs. But, like, that's not how, like, COVID works. It's very weird.
It was a little strange, but
because essentially it ended up being pretty generic nonsense anyways. It's like, you know, I love you so much, and you deserve the very best, and I hope your person is Clayton, and bye.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like, how can he say he hopes it's Clayton? He hasn't even met Clayton yet.
I know. If I was in his position, I would be like, okay, we are going to do some Zoom calls with this man. At the very least, we're going to find out before I show any sort of enthusiasm.
Yeah, then he just gets back in the car and leaves, like, so quickly.
Yeah, and then she goes back inside, and of course they're like, oh, what was that? She's like, it was Dad. Ah. Clayton's just standing there like, what am I?
I don't belong here.
What am I supposed to be doing? Yeah. What a great little adventure.
And so afterwards, she reveals she's falling in love with him, you know, like clockwork.
Oh, very naturally, though.
Of course. She said seeing you with family solidified things, which I've never quite understood that reasoning. I've heard that before on the show.
It's because she got to see how natural he was with her family, and just how they took to him, and how much her dad loved him, even though he had never met him and probably never will, because she's not going to be the finalist. But it just, you know, makes you feel more comfortable when your family's comfortable with someone.
Yeah, but I don't know. I suppose.
Wow, you're just not buying it.
I don't know. I've just heard it before on the show. And I was just like,
Well, I do get that. Yeah, I do get your skepticism. I empathize with it. I spend most of my life skeptical, so I get it. I really do, Christy. I get it.
So we move on to Serene in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. Yeehaw, as it were.
We have a adventure fear date.
Yes, it's like an adventure park sort of deal.
Yeah, they get harnessed up and they are like climbing across on a rope that's like suspended between all these like scaffolding, like, I don't even know what's it called.
Yeah, just air obstacles in the air.
And Clayton was freaking out, which I can empathize with.
It was just funny to me, and maybe I should learn to have a little more empathy for people, but I was just cracking up because he was freaking out.
Yeah, it was funny to watch, but yes, I could not do this.
You only think you couldn't do it. No, in my experience, approaching it like Clayton approached it always makes things 100 times worse versus just like actually doing it and getting it over with. Case in point. Sorry, please.
No, I was just gonna say it's just a lot of buildup as you're like suspended above the air, like it's just
right,
kind of freaky.
I guess what I'm trying to say is there's only that much buildup if you let there be enough. If you let there be that much buildup, versus as terrifying as it may be, if you just do it, then it's actually done and you survived and you move on with your life. Like the obstacle is basically like little like kind of plates type looking thing, like circular platforms attached on wires that you had to like cross, and he was just freaking out and took for so much screen time to do it, and then she just like went right across and did it like 5 seconds.
Difference in personality for sure. Also, he did tweet about this. He said, "Yeah, I was freaked out on the obstacle course with Serene. I'm 260 pounds, and the only safety mechanism stopping me from falling to my death was a plastic horseshoe overhead. Someone go take a pic of it so I can plead my case." And then also, he said, "Also for the 80-foot jump, I didn't see the cable to attach to at first. I thought the producers were legitimately going to make this the most dramatic season ever by making me free fall. I did sign a waiver right before."
Wow. Huh. Interesting. Well, I enjoyed the terror anyways. So it was all worth it.
But yes, they both survived.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they meet her mom, brother, and friend. I think it was just 3 people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Her brother was a little skeptical.
Yes.
Or a lot skeptical.
I mean, he asked Clayton, does he love her? And then Clayton has to stammer around again and eventually says he hasn't told anyone he loves them, which is like, I guess, a nice cover at the moment.
Oh, man. But that was a pretty strong "I told you so" when she arrived back home.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
because he was quite shocked that Serene had actually opened up to Clayton and told him about all of her difficulties. Because, like, I think I'm getting this right. So I guess was it a cousin that she was super close with that died a couple years ago? And then I think her grandmother died like last year? Or was it reversed?
I think it's the other way around. The cousin had just died, I think. The one with the lights, with like the fireflies.
Oh, okay. So it was like a couple things in pretty rapid succession. I'm sure, her dad getting divorced when she was a toddler. is up there. Yeah, he was like, "What? She told you what?" Because I guess she just doesn't usually open up to people.
Yeah, that seems accurate. She even shows her mom the jar with the string lights in it, and she was just as impressed.
She probably threw that off a dam or something.
I know.
Yep. Yeah, just a lot of warning.
Yes, brother doesn't want her to get hurt.
Be careful, Serene. Be careful.
Will he break her trust?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But she loves Clayton so much, Christy.
I know, like afterwards on the bench, she says she's in love with him, but oh man.
And which he, in response, he's like, "Oh, yeah, I just have so many feelings."
Yeah, not quite the response you want.
Not at hometowns.
No.
Yeah. Well, I think we all won't be shocked to see where this is heading.
Nope. So next is Rachel in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, this was another date that...
You would have immediately left the show.
Yes.
Waiver or no waiver.
There's no waiver you can sign for this. Like, so essentially they go kayaking, but...
In what is essentially... I don't know if it's actually the Everglades, but pretty close.
Yes, the water they kayak in is like crystal clear, which was like really cool, and they're in this like clear kayak, but there's like alligators.
Okay, so maybe it's not actually then, because I feel like the Everglades are much more like swampy and dirty. So maybe this was a not quite as in that direction. I'm not really a great person at Florida geography, but yeah, I'm sure you were a huge fan of seeing that spider.
Oh, that spider was enormous. And there were also apparently black bears around, like just too many, like, I just can't deal with all that.
Christy doesn't like being exposed to predators.
No. I don't mess around with things that are, especially animals that are above me on the food chain.
Yes, we watched separately this week, but this whole entire date, I was just imagining Christy's shocked face, her disgust face, her gasp.
Yeah, it was all terrible. And of course, they're like paddling in the kayak, just, and I get all the scary music, just waiting for something to jump out.
Yeah, which of course nothing's gonna jump out. I also, so he's made out a lot with Rachel. Like they found this whole very totally natural, not staged or planned at all, this wonky looking swamp tree that had a wooden sign on it that said kissing tree. And so of course they like making out with her at this weird angle on the tree. And
yeah, they look perched in the air for that.
Well, yeah, it was sort of like on this little sort of sandbar or something like that, and then they like jumped from the tree into the water, and then they were like, and this was, so I don't know about our entire viewership here. I would definitely be interested to hear some feedback from people on this, but personally, for myself, I'm not someone who is willing to lie down in shallow water in an area with predators, black bears,
Heck no.
alligators, and then just tune out the world by just making out with someone as you're lying in the shallow water there.
Absolutely not.
I prefer to keep situational awareness, and I would be willing to bet there was zero situational awareness there. And so if an alligator had come along, we would have had the most interesting season of The Bachelor ever.
No, just throwing caution to the wind. Passion is the only thing that matters in that moment.
Yes, please, our audience here, let us know. Would you kiss someone like that? I want to know. I need to know.
Yeah, that's all I could think about as they were doing that. It's like, didn't we just paddle through the alligator water?
And if you were in that circumstance, you would be bringing that up. You'd be like, excuse me, no, we paddled through alligator waters. No.
Yeah, just lots of kissing and
unbelievable.
So
they did survive, though. They survived.
Yeah. They're gonna meet her mom, dad, and friends Sam and Nate. And she warns him that dad has not liked anyone she's dated.
Yeah, apparently he is. I'm pretty sure she specifically said that he was mean.
Yeah, that he was mean to them, yeah. So, it seemed like they actually were at her parents' house. Like, I know sometimes they don't use, like, the actual family's house, but it looks nice.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Like, her mom was very excited.
I mean, it's not every day you get to be on national TV.
And, like, she speculated dad looks very concerned.
She's like, I will destroy you. Especially since someone said, it may have been her dad directly, about that he had offered to beat up a previous boyfriend for her.
Oh yes, that's what the dad Tony told Clayton.
Yeah.
That's just a little intimidating.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that particular type of parenting, but anyway, what did you think of her friends' reactions?
I thought it was funny that the one friend Sam like also warned Clayton about the dad. So this guy seriously has a reputation.
Yeah. I mean, of course there's some tentative feelings about the situation she's in and the other women.
Yeah, I don't know. She says she doesn't know how she feels about it, but like that is next week. Like you're gonna have to deal with it coming up pretty soon.
Yes, I'm pretty sure I know how you feel about it. You hate it, but it's part of the process.
Yes, you have to deal with it.
You gotta do it for the gram.
I thought the whole conversation with Tony, the dad, was pretty great too. He's like, I have a few questions.
Yeah, though he actually wasn't actually mean.
No, definitely could have been worse.
Like she set it up like he was super irrationally angry or something like that. Like he would just crush any potential person.
Well, I think he also realizes he's on TV, and so maybe that is Clayton's saving grace there.
He's like, I cannot implicate myself in any crimes here.
No.
It's like the camera person walks into the other room for a second. He just leans over. He's like, I will kill you, Clayton. You're dead.
Well, like that Michael Scott gif.
Yeah. The camera guy comes out. He's like, yeah. We're so good. Aren't we, champ? Yeah.
He did ask if Clayton would be willing to move. And Clayton says yes.
Because Rachel is the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
So theoretically, she could work from anywhere.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't remember if she had like commercial aspirations, but even then, like even if she wasn't, you can still end up all over the place. Like this is just a great little anecdote that's off topic, but also not. But I have an uncle who is a pilot, not a commercial pilot, but of smaller planes. And while he's still like based out of the country, he still ends up being gone a lot because he's, flying planes for someone to hear, and he has to bring their plane some other place, and so on and so forth. And so, that life just isn't for everybody,
Yeah, lots of travel.
Mm-hmm.
But he says he'll be okay with it, so.
Mm-hmm. But just because you say you're okay with it doesn't mean you will be when push comes to shove. I mean, wasn't that the whole situation with was it Katie and what's his face?
I don't even know or really understand what happened with those two.
I thought that was part of it because one was in Canada and one was in the U.S.
Yes, and it didn't seem like Katie was willing to move to where he was, so.
Right. Yeah, so sometimes life is hard to put into practice, to really live out your words. But Clayton sees a future with her, so it's all good.
Yeah, the dad also says he can't give his blessing because he hasn't talked to Rachel. But after he does, if he approves, he'll give him a pat on his shoulder or something.
Yeah, I think it was he'll pat him on the shoulder as he shakes his hand, and that will be the signal that he approves.
Yes, which he does end up doing.
Oh boy. Wow. He has the Italian dad's approval.
Yes, and Rachel is relieved that he was not mean. So it's a win-win all around.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then we gotta get more make-out time.
Yes, and I forgot to mention throughout this whole thing, Rachel's voice is shot.
Oh, yes, that's right. I totally forgot that as well.
It's just gone.
Do you know what happened to her?
I don't know. Someone said she was sick, I guess. I don't know. Someone also mentioned all the traveling. Sometimes your throat feels scratchy from that. I'm not really sure what happened.
Her voice was crap, let me tell you. She came on screen, and I was like, oh, I don't want to listen to this. It sounds terrible.
And it got worse, as the day goes on from all the talking.
Mm-hmm. Yep, gotta film all those ITMs. It really takes it out of you when your throat's already mostly gone.
Yep, and she also reveals that she is falling even harder now.
Oh. Which I don't know if that's really true. I mean, at a certain point, you just reach terminal velocity, and you can't move any faster than that.
Sure, the only thing left is to say, I am in love with you, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Cue more romantic making out. Yay!
Mm-hmm. So I guess they went back to the Bachelor mansion, which I guess sometimes they do that, but yeah, they're back in LA.
Dun 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 for the rose ceremony.
He has this chat with Jesse Palmer, where Jesse is like, "You got a lot on your mind." It's like, wow, no. It's like, come on, of course he does.
Can I, and this may be the wrong place to bring this up, but we keep seeing all these previews, and he's kind of setting himself up for it right now, but is the big deal of what we keep seeing, is it because he finished the fantasy suites telling all of them he loved them? Because, like, I've just been assuming through all these seasons that the lead typically just has sex with everybody.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. I think they usually don't reveal that in front of anyone else, though, with the whole, like, I've been intimate with both of you. Like, that doesn't happen usually. Or
okay,
ever.
So it's more of the reveal, the public reveal of the information versus the actual information itself.
And also, they also don't usually say, I told someone else I love them.
Wow, he's really just stepping in it.
I know, like, you can do all those things, but just don't mention it to the other people. It's very strange.
Yeah, what is the saying? Whatever such and such doesn't know can't hurt us.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, because, he's been holding back because he's fallen in love with everybody.
But now he says he doesn't want to hold back anymore. And, well, we see how that turned out.
Yep. Bye-bye, Serene.
Yeah, so time for the rose ceremony. And I have to mention, did you notice Gabby's dress?
No.
It was like she had the blue dress on, but like it was one of those dresses that like the top of the dress and the bodice cuts right across like the middle of your boobs, but it looked like it was too small, so it had this like squashing effect.
Are we allowed to say that word on our family-friendly show?
I don't see why not.
To answer your question, no, I did not notice that.
It looked so painful to me. But
like, I'm terrible at fashion.
But yes, Serene goes home.
Yep. Which
she does
she's
not look happy.
Not happy about.
Which I can't really blame her. She just told him she's in love with him. And he acted like it was the greatest thing ever. And then she gets dumped.
Well, I don't know what to say, Christy. Sometimes, relationships proceed faster than others. Though, I will bring up, because I laughed out loud when he said this. But I believe verbatim what he said was, I've chosen to have stronger connections. He literally
Wait, he said chosen?
Yeah, he said he's chose. I should go back to Hulu and watch it again, but I'm 99% sure that he's used the word choose, or that I chose.
I missed that. I just heard stronger connections, which is the usual line you hear, but
look,
wow.
if people want to call me out and say that I just completely made this up, please do. But That is how I heard it.
That is interesting.
I reacted quite strongly to that.
Wow. But yeah, she just basically says, I have nothing else to say to you. And so she gets in the car and leaves.
Bye-bye.
Which I'm not surprised she went home. I feel like his connections are stronger to the other three.
Correct. It's just weird to act in the way he did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, it's so wonderful being here with you, and like, I got all these feelings, and bye-bye.
Yeah, I think the hometown dumping is always really hard after you just met their family as well.
Right. But it's like, after that, are you really going to like lead the dumpy on like that?
No.
Well, apparently that's not the case, because he did. I guess we'll see if he issues an Instagram apology for that.
Probably not.
Wow.
I think he is covered under the I have stronger connections excuse.
Wow. Unbelievable. Look, I keep saying this, but this show is just continuing to give a platform to terrible people and people making terrible choices.
That's part of the fun.
I don't know. I don't know if I can, in good conscience, stand by and just continue to watch all of this exploitation.
There was also this like really funny end scene with him and Gabby where she noticed that, or was shocked that his toenails looked well groomed. But then she also noticed that his toes are hairy and she wants him to shave them.
Look, men are naturally hairy creatures, okay?
I don't think it ever would have occurred to me that there would be hair on your toe, but
You know, men are just like that sometimes. I'm not personally admitting that I do or do not have hair on my toes. I'm just saying.
Of course not.
You have a lot of testosterone flowing through your body. Hair can show up on places. That's all I'm saying.
It could show up anywhere.
Yeah, it could be anywhere. Who knows? Or not anywhere. Who's to say?
Yep.
Well, Christy, after all those gymnastics, I'm quite tired. So, how can people get in contact with us?
You can email us at groupdatespod@gmail.com or follow us on Instagram at groupdatespodcast.
Yes, seriously, get in touch. Have I been insufferable? Have I been spewing untruths accidentally? I want to know. I need to know. Because, let's be honest, I don't pay a lot of attention after the fact to what has gone on here. So, you're really my only hope to mend the errors of my way, if there are any.
Yes, please let us know.
Mm-hmm. And everybody wants to know how many kisses, of course. And there were 24
Wow.
that I saw. So
Quite a lot.
he's going quite picked up his pace, shall we say. Christy, do you have any last words for us?
Nope, other than next week looks like a mess, so that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. Yes, please join us next week for So Much Intimacy. This has been Group Dates and Hot Takes, a Bachelor Nation podcast. I'm Zampy.
And I'm Christy. We'll talk to you next week.